Hey,
Oh, Rex. What do you think?
that was
And there's
that was a very rich,
Speechless. I
um,
know it.
very good. I did have a few speaker issues on my side, so I'm going to be asking some questions, but I may be asking something that's already been asked, so I had to quickly fix some stuff.
So first, so Curtis, maybe 10 more minutes. Is that okay? It's been over an hour. You all right? 10 more. So I know you've got that deadline. We want you. Okay. All right, my dear Rex.
let me just,
Go for it,
we're
Frank.
good. We're good.
Okay. You talked about dyads and counterfeit emotions, and a lot of people like to express anger, but what is underneath anger?
Yeah. So anger comes from only two sources. I don't know if you caught this. The first is danger, and the second is a perceived injustice. So those are the only two reasons anyone will ever get angry: is they're in danger, or there's a perceived injustice. And what's funny about anger, I call it the anger danger cycle. Is that let's say that we're having an argument, right? And I get mad at you, I get angry. You're going to see danger. You're going to see danger coming from me. And because of that, there's only two reasons: anger and injustice. So now you're going to say, wait, I see danger. I need to get angry too. And so we create this anger danger cycle of I create anger, you see danger, I create anger, you see danger, and back and forth. And we just start to spin. And that's why these conversations start to explode, is because of that, is because we see danger.
That answers my follow up of why people feel safe expressing anger, because they think they're reacting to fear or a danger or injustice. Wow. Okay. What else I got here? How can people start to really? I know you said like just identify your feelings, but I mean, how do people really get there sometimes to even recognize, oh wait, my feelings are totally leading me? Is there a way to do that, to get like that? Seems like the surface they need to scratch first.
Yeah. The thing I have most people do first is make a daily practice of recognizing emotions, of going through. And Brené Brown did a study with over 7,000 people, and she asked them, what emotions are you feeling in the moment? And guess how many they could answer? Guess it was so startling. It was three: mad, sad, and glad. Those are the three emotions that people could identify. And in my research, I literally right over here in my office, I've got a shelf of sticky notes of thousands of emotions, literally thousands. I keep all my emotions on the shelf. But people can only identify three. And so I do what's called a check-in, which we go over physical. How am I feeling physically? Emotionally, how am I feeling? Mentally, how am I feeling? Do I have brain fog? Am I feeling sharp? Am I feeling attuned? Now, spiritually, socially, and then sexually. We go through all of these, and we make a daily practice of saying, how do I know what I'm feeling? And start putting words to it. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you never stop feeling. It's like trying to hold your breath. You don't stop feeling. There's never a nanosecond in your life where you don't feel something. And so being able to put the names to that, and most of the times you'll feel multiple emotions at the same time. So it won't be just, I feel mad. No, it's, I feel an injustice. I probably feel scared, and I may feel overwhelmed. And do you see how there's so many more? Is just getting in that daily practice of, number one, identifying what it is. What name does this thing inside of me have? Because we can't take our demons to lunch if we can't identify who they are.
Why do you think? I don't know how. The best way I can ask this is going to sound funny. Why do you think we're all so emotionally illiterate or ignorant?
That is a great question. I've got my own theories as well. Some of the research is coming out on that exact topic. One reason is the doom scrolling. Is this right here is a dopamine producing machine. It is amazing how this device can create these little spurts of dopamine, and the dopamine dependence cycle is fascinating. But basically what it does is it allows us to say, I'm going to try and escape from my emotions. I'm going to try and escape. And I can do that with Netflix or doom scrolling or binging or, whatever it is. And truly we are, as a society, and you can look up the research on this, as a society, we are losing the ability to identify emotions. I mean, you look at Brene Brown's study, they could only identify 3 emotions in the moment.
So we're all trying to distract ourselves constantly. And like you said, escape our feelings. That's so true. Does that develop at a young age, though? Because, like, sometimes something I learned when I had kids was like, a kid crying is an alarm for they need something rather than an annoyance. But it just seems like we're always trying to, it seems like if you don't know that, then you're going to try, oh, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. We're not going to service your need. We're not going to worry about what you're feeling. Do you think maybe it develops at an early childhood?
It absolutely can. And especially when parents or adults aren't emotionally attuned, then they'll say things like, hey, stop crying. Well, there's a reason behind the cry, just like you said. Or, men don't cry. Or you shouldn't feel that way. Like the words should and shouldn't, you won't find them anywhere in my books, in my writing. You won't find them anywhere because they're so full of shame. The words should and shouldn't.
It invalidates your experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It completely invalidates who you are.
Yeah.
And what happened to you. And so one way that we can foster that in kids is when they do have emotions, when they do feel big things, is say things like, I can tell that there's something inside of you that is really important and really big. Can we see what that is? And be able to tap into letting them explore and the critical thinking behind that. What is this emotion? How do I even name this?
Yeah. Do we have time for another question? One more? All right. How can people tell when they're feeling a counterfeit emotion instead of a real one? And I guess, how can they identify the real one?
Yeah, the 4 criteria. That's really where it comes down to. Does it connect me? So connection, direction, motivation, and valuation. Does it connect me? Does it connect me to my true self? And when I say true self, I don't mean the body. I don't mean my accomplishments or my weaknesses. I mean that beautiful, unbreakable, untarnishable diamond inside. Does it connect me to that? Does it connect me to others? Does it connect me to God, my higher power? Does it connect me to truth? And does it connect me to purpose? That's the first criteria. And it's specifically the first because that's often the most important and the quickest to be able to say, oh, yeah, I'm feeling really disconnected right now, or I'm not. Then we've got direction. Does it take me somewhere? Does this emotion actually take me forward, upward, or bring me together with others? And if not, if it just spins on itself, if that emotion spins, that is a counterfeit emotion. And one thing I really want to emphasize is there's no such thing as a bad emotion. A lot of people think there's bad emotions. There's good emotions and bad emotions. I feel happy, that's good. I feel angry, that's bad. No, it's not good and bad. Every emotion, even the counterfeits and even the opposites, they bring a message. Every emotion brings a message. And the trouble is when we let the messengers become dictators. And that's when we let them drive the bus of our soul around. And instead of that, we say, okay, thank you so much for the message you brought. I'm going to take this message right over to your twin of, if it's anger, I'm taking it right to advocacy. If it's nice behavior, I'm taking it right to kind. If it's, if it's misery, I'm going to take it right to pain. And I'm going to let the authentic emotion do its job. Because once I take that message to the authentic, then the counterfeit can rest. The counterfeit is done. It doesn't need to be there anymore. So that gives us the third step, which is direction. What direction does this take me? And then, motivation. What is the motivation behind this? Actually, this is a really good one for me, because every authentic emotion is based in love and surrender. Every counterfeit emotion is based in fear and control. And I know what fear feels like. I have a great relationship with fear, and everybody has this in their body. Everybody has the feeling of fear. We know what it feels like. It's a rapid heart rate. It's increased breath. It's shallow, usually shallow, increased breath. It's all of these things that we know what fear feels like. For me, it's like this steel band across my chest that's slowly squeezing in. That's what fear feels like for me. So whenever I feel that, I just like watching the clouds go by. I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm feeling fear. And I actually have a good relationship with fear now, because I'm like, hey, you're my number one indicator. You're my number one indicator that I need to take a course correction over to the authentic. And that fear actually is helping me to identify where I'm at. And then the final one is valuation of, does it value me as having infinite worth, and does it value you as having infinite worth?
I really like that, because again, it reminded me what I said about a kid crying. Is it's an alarm. Your emotions, not so much alarms, but they're like, hey, this something is happening that's making you afraid. Something that's happening that's making you happy. Something that's making you happy, or something that's happening that's causing another emotion, and then learning to trace it back to what that thing is and really identify ourselves. That was really good.
I'm glad we could end on that reminder again. Like, what is the difference? How is it going to feel? Yeah. Thank you. So that good question, Rex, and bless you, Curtis.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, Curtis, you've been more than generous. With your time.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org, where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission.